Chicago, right in the middle of downtown Chicago as the Bulls go for the knockout. And who better to do it than the heavyweight, Michael Jordan. As the Bulls, with a commanding 3-1 lead over the Charlotte Hornets, looking to oust the Hornets and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Hello there again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown. The Bulls shook off the loss here in Game 2 to win two very convincing wins on the road over the weekend, on the brink of moving to the Eastern Conference Finals. But there's a problem regarding the health of many of the Chicago players, and for that, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, a beautiful spring day in Chicago, but a cold spell has hit the Bulls locker room. Four players are suffering from colds, including Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. The other two are Scott Burrell and Randy Brown. They've been breaking for tea all day, a special blend called Champion 6. Ginseng, clover, peppermint, lemon peel, spearmint, and peach. Now, normally when Michael Jordan is feeling ill, it's the opponent who suffers the pain. However, some of the side effects they've been complaining about: shortness of breath and weakness in the legs. Dick?
You're right about that, Craig. Hubie, let me ask you about this series thus far. Is it the fact that the Bulls are playing so well, or the Hornets are not playing up to the level of the playoffs?
Well, I think with Chicago, it's business as usual. Michael Jordan and Pippen, they're averaging 47 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists between them. Rodman's getting his 18 boards, 5 at the offensive end. They only have 12 turnovers, so they're maximizing their offensive possessions. Not bad.
Not bad at all, but let's look at the Hornets now, because they're nowhere near their scoring output of the regular season. How do you break it down?
Well, Dick, you have to look and say they're only averaging 79 points. Everyone wants attack on Glen Rice. Sure, he's struggling. Only one game where he has shot over 36%. But the rest of the perimeter people are also struggling. You can see they're averaging 79 points versus 97 during the year. Foul shot attempts, that's where you make up the points. They're struggling. The rebounding, they're getting out-rebounded by 4 when you put it up against the rest of the season. And then the three-point shooting, where they're third in the league, has gone and left them. But tonight, if they're going to do it, the perimeter game has got to shoot a high percentage, and they need a much better effort defensively.
Crowd is up for what could be the clincher. Game 5 between the Bulls and the Hornets, coming up from the United Center. And welcome back to the United Center. The crowd is primed, and here are the starting lineups for game number 5. Rice, Mason, Divac, Phils, and Wesley, the same 5 that started the entire series. Pippen, Rodman, Longley, who did not start in game 1, and Jordan and Harper for the Bulls. Louis Grillo, Ron Garretson, and Dan Crawford are the officials. Dennis Rodman celebrating his 37th birthday today. And we're set to go. The Bulls won game 1 of the series. The Hornets shocked Chicago, winning game 2. And then the Bulls dominated on the road, and they played their best basketball in all of the playoffs so far on the road.
Well, if you look at the Bulls' wins, Dick, they won by 13, 14, and 14.
And they finished off the New Jersey Nets in the opening round of the series with a very impressive road win as well. Here is Michael Jordan, and he gets the Bulls underway.
Now that was just a beautiful cut off a high screen by Michael, and they caught Charlotte playing on the top side.
Double team on Rice, leaving Divac on the pick and roll to tie the game.
Well, anytime that you trap, you must trap hard in order to make it difficult for that passer.
Basically, the Hornets have not been aggressive on either end of the basket, and the Bulls have done what they wanted to do. Jordan misses from outside. Rodman with the offensive rebound and the basket.
Well, Dick, they have not been able to stop him on the glass. 5 offensive rebounds a game and 18 overall per contest.
Glen Rice with Ron Harper in his face misses from the perimeter, and you wonder whether Rice feels pressure to get it going in the shot department. He shot 36% against the Bulls in the regular season and is under 40% in the playoffs, as Hubie pointed out.
Well, you know, Dick, he's getting 20 shots a game, so it isn't like he is not getting looks.
Jordan fall away, and Anthony Mason, who guarded the Jordan in the game 2 upset here, is on him again as the game starts, and Wesley hits the jumper, and he's got to be key tonight.
Yeah, that's big. See, Wesley, Phils, and Curry are scoring a minus 12 per game under their season average. Now, this is killing this team. Everyone's picking on Rice, but the other 3 key perimeter guys are also not doing the job.
The pass off the fingertips of Pippen turns it over to Charlotte.
Now you're going to see Wesley come up here in transition. He just stops and takes the shot. Well, I know Cowens is happy with that.
And this time Bobby Phils at the other end takes the shot. Phils too has been Wesley, that is, takes his second shot and makes it. So Wesley coming in at 40% from the field. 2 for 2 to start the game. Luke Longley down low, guarded by Divac. Harper with a good screen from Longley. And Mason grabs the rebound.
Well, all of the options out of the triangle have opened up, Dick, in the 3 times down the floor, and the Bulls are getting excellent looks at the basket.
A kickball and a new clock for the Bulls. Keep in mind that the Hornets have come out of the gate pretty fast. They led 11-2 in Sunday's game, only to run out of gas. And Glen Rice getting the field goal, and the Hornets are up 8-4 on an early 6-0 run.
Well, I thought you made a good point, and that being that they get out early all the time, but unfortunately for them, in quarters 2 and 3, that's where the Bulls catch up and move ahead.
Mason guarding Jordan, and Jordan hits the shot. Jordan had problems not driving and posting up Mason in game number 2, settled for the outside shot. But then in game number 3, his turnaround jumper was effective against Mason. Here is Mason down low against Rodman, and his turnaround goes, so Mason scores, and 4 of the starting 5 for the Hornets have already scored.
What I'd like to see Mason do is, if you notice, the Bulls are not double-teaming him. Take the ball strong to the basket and get Rodman in foul trouble.
Longley is off the front rim with the shot. The Hornets leading by 4 with a little more than 3 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. Divac's looking for Rice, and Glen Rice gets by Pippen. Pippen complaining that Rice used an elbow inside.
Yeah, but at times Scottie tried to front Rice, and he caught him with the forearm, and a beautiful lob.
And the lead is 12-6 in favor of the Hornets. Scottie Pippen double teamed, and they're going to let Harper take the shot. Divac's on him. 8 on the shot clock. Rice is on Longley. Mismatch inside, and the pass to Pippen off his hands, and it's the Bulls who are out of sync in the early going.
Now keep an eye at the set. Now watch Pippen. See, Pippen's going to gamble to go in front. Now anytime that happens, use your forearm. Pippen said he thought that he used his hand rather than his forearm.
And Wesley has his shot blocked by Luke Longley. Michael Jordan hits. And Michael Jordan, with a strong start, has 6 of the 8 Bulls points. The Hornets by 4.
Well, it's interesting, Dick, in the 4 games prior to tonight, there's only a difference of 2 points in transition baskets in favor of Chicago.
That's interesting. And Rodman committing the foul on Anthony Mason.
Now, you got Rodman with 1. Now when they go into Mason, he cannot throw that fadeaway jump shot. They're not double teaming you. Take it to the hole, drop stiff, and use power moves on Rodman and try to get number 2.
The Hornets are 6 of 7 to start the game, and they were one of the top shooting teams in the NBA this season. You would know it by their performance in this series. Mason with a turnaround. The double team came a little bit too late, so Mason and Rice and Wesley all have 4 points.
Right now, you could not ask for a better start if you were coaching the Charlotte Hornets.
And there's the hot shooting by both teams, especially the 78% by Charlotte. And Dave Collins says, I know one thing, we may be down 3-1. People don't give us a chance, but we'll compete.
No, look, that's what this guy is all about. But you have to be careful. You cannot allow Longley to post you right underneath the rim and then play behind him defensively.
Divac's committing that last foul on Luke Longley. Pippen guarded by Phils, now posting up against Bobby Phils. And a pretty move by Scottie Pippen with his first points of the game.
That was very nice. He took his time. He ran every move that he could, gave him the up and under, and then stepped through.
And Anthony Mason with a hot hand early keeps it. Mason now 3 for 3 from the field, and the Hornets lead by 6.
Well, Mason just said, hey, listen, I don't want to take him to the game. He's a fish on defense. I'm going to keep him in here because I'm hot.
Here's Longley, and Longley had the smaller man Wesley running at him, and that has been a problem for the Hornets. They've had Wesley guarding big people in this series.
Well, anytime that you get Longley out facing the basket, you should jam him on his right hand and play him tight and force him to dribble a ball with his left hand. You cannot give him that shot.
And here is Wesley hitting again, and that was a two-point basket. No, a three for Wesley. He's got 7 now, and a 7-point lead for the Hornets. So they're coming out strong as they face extinction in this series. Look, Longley on the drive, misses, gets another chance, and he is fouled underneath. And let's see if Divac gets hit with his second personal foul. It is not. It's on Mason.
Well, Mason and Wesley are definitely on fire. You can see Wesley came off a staggered screen on the baseline. Up and in your face. He has the field.
A spirited start to Game 5. Hornets leading by 7 here in the first quarter. Hubie, everyone has talked about how Rice and Mason haven't produced for Charlotte.
Now, during the year, Wesley had 13 a game, Phil's 10, Curry 9, and Geiger at 11. Now, just look at the averages during the course of this 4-game set. Now, that's 43.7 points during the season, 20.3. So you're dealing with a minus 23. And naturally, a major factor is Geiger, who averaged 11 points a game, is only playing 6 minutes in the games that he has participated.
So a lot of it has been the supporting cast that Rice and Mason have really not gotten production out of. So Longley will be on the free throw line, and let's get a report from Craig Sager.
During the last time out, Dennis Rodman came over and complained about indigestion. He was given a prescription by the team doctor and also took some fluids. So now it's not only the cold, but also indigestion for the worm. Nick?
Obviously too much birthday cake today on his 37th. He's supposed to have that after the game.
Listen, his work habits, I don't think we have to worry about that, all right? I mean, if we're worried about what Rodman is doing once he leaves the court, we're in trouble.
On the turnover, Ron Harper misses from the outside.
Oh, 2-on-1.
A 2-on-1 break. Harper trying to get back into the picture, but Glen Rice has it blocked by Longley. That is Longley's second block here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Rice is hot. He's really hot that he didn't get 2 fouls.
And now Longley gets called for the offensive foul, charging into Vlade Divac.
Now keep an eye on this move to the left of your screen. Let's see if Longley gets this clean. Are you going to see it right there? Well, I thought he caught him right across the wrist myself.
Bobby Phil's guarded by Ron Harper with 5.5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Rice finds an opening and connects. Glen Rice now with 6 points in the game, and the Hornets lead by 7, matching their biggest advantage here in the first quarter. Jordan guarded by Mason, and the rebound by Divac. So only 1 shot that time for the Bulls, who are 6 of 12 from the field. Glen Rice is hitting, and this is the kind of shooting Charlotte showed in the regular season.
Yeah, well, this guy's one of the best shooters in basketball, and in the USA poll, the players and managers and coaches, everyone voted him by far #1. Now, he is quicker tonight, Dick, for whatever reason. He's stepping out.
And Michael Jordan now pushing it up on a 3-on-1 are the Hornets after Jordan's lay-in. Here is Rice.
Nice fake.
Gets past Pippen and hits again. And right now, Glen Rice, 5 of 7 from the field, is leading the charge. He has 10 points, and the Hornets lead by 9. That's their biggest lead.
Now, during the year, Rice shoots 46% from the floor and 43 in threes, and we're seeing it here in this first quarter.
Jordan working around Longley, and Longley set a great low pick for him.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Mason never stepped out to help his man, and if he would have stepped out, he would have definitely interfered with Michael's shot attempt.
So the big score is coming through early. Michael Jordan has 10, as does Glen Rice, and the loose ball Mason still controls. And the double team on Mason. And here is Phil's short with the 3-point attempt.
Cardinal rule, Dick, come out of the trap, not with the first pass, make the second pass, and you had an easier shot at the top of the circle.
Luke Longley working against Divac, and Divac using his body, and here is Wesley against Rodman, and David Wesley now with 9 points. So Rice and Wesley have 19 of the Hornets 27 points. They lead by 9 with 3.5 remaining here in the first quarter.
Dick, this is the team that scored 97 points a game
Where
during
have
the
they
year.
been?
That's correct. They look so much quicker tonight. Now, can you sustain it in this building for 48 minutes?
Jordan pulls up, rims the basket in and out, and pushing it up again are the Hornets. They're playing a lot more aggressively offensively than they have really throughout this whole series. Wesley has it knocked away, and it was last touched by the Bulls.
Now, Scottie Pippen is coming on a rotation out on Rice. Beautiful head fake, and then ball fake right in your face. But he has the feel tonight. You know he's looking for the shot on every catch.
Hornets taking it to the Bulls in the first quarter.
Right now you're going to see the basketball is right here with Wesley, and here comes Rice on a curl. Watch Scottie shoot the gap, but he's late as Rice takes it right down the lane. This is just a beautiful curl move. Now, right there, Longley tries to help him, so they would have that either way, Dick. You could either lay it up or you could drop it right off to the screener for an uncontested layup.
Tony Kukoc, who finally emerged playing aggressive basketball with 15 points on 5 for 10 shooting, including 2 of 4 from three-point range, has come in. Remember, he hurt his back in the final minute, did not practice yesterday, although Phil Jackson said he could have played. He was dormant in the first 3 games of the series as Dennis Rodman goes to the bench. Wesley misses from the outside, and the Hornet lead is 9. The Bulls have the ball with under 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bulls looking to wrap it up tonight. Nearly a turnover. Plenty of time on the shot clock for Chicago. Scottie Burrell has come in as well as Kukoc in the game. And here is Luke Longley hitting from outside. Longley playing more and more minutes since game 1, coming back from the injured knee.
Yeah, that's bad basketball by Divac. Come on, you've got to close up. We call that closing the man out. Get up in there and get on Longley's right hand, and you're going to stop the drive, and you're also going to stop the jump shot.
Corey Beck has entered the game for the Hornets. Beautiful. And here is Beck with a reverse layup, and Dave Cowens wanting to use Beck, who was not drafted but played for Arkansas and starred for the Razorbacks NCAA title team for energy early on in this game.
Well, they're very small right now because Rice is the power forward.
Kukoc hitting from outside, so Tony Kukoc getting his shooting rhythm as this series moves on.
See, you're playing well, playing big. Now you're going small with 3 guards in there, and you're moving Phil's the small forward and Rice the power forward.
Here is Divac. He's really the lone big man in there, setting a screen. And Wesley with a fall away, and Kukoc gets the rebound, so the Hornets missing a few after coming out hot, making 13 of their first 17 from the field.
I see Wesley's fronting Michael. Michael jammed him.
Scottie Pippen, and good blocking out by the Hornets with Glen Rice bringing it up. The Hornets lead by 7, and we have a minute 15 remaining in the first quarter. And Pippen knocked it away, but it's Charlotte's ball with 15 on the shot clock.
See, Scottie's working hard right now because he's on Rice. Rice is off to a great start. Rice is showing his excellent quickness off the dribble to the rim or to get himself open. So Scottie has to work at it, and he wants every call here tonight. If you notice, he's complaining on every non-call.
For a change. And that goes for any player. But I'll tell you one thing, Hubie, the Hornets are playing with a lot more energy and maybe with nothing to lose, throwing caution to the wind as Anthony Mason replaces Vlade Divac, who goes out. Divac with 2 points, but 3 rebounds and a strong inside presence. 10 on the shot clock. Bobby Phil's trying to beat the double team, can't do it.
Right now, the Bulls are big, and what you have to do is punish these mismatched people.
Jordan working against Rice, and Jordan getting a step. Rice stays with him, and Jordan scores anyway. You can't fault Glen Rice for his defense. Jordan now 6 of 10 from the field and 12 here in the first quarter.
Michael was behind the board. That was a very difficult angle.
And there's Pippen denying Glen Rice. He has made it very tough for Glen Rice in this series, limiting his touches And finally, they're going to call the foul on Tony Kukoc with under a minute to go.
In this building, they're not accustomed to that call. That was physical contact. They usually get away with that. Now watch as they push Jordan down to the baseline. They're right on him now. Now as he comes out here now, he's got to shoot around the glass. That was an excellent move by Michael, and good defense, really, by Charlotte.
Del Curry, who's a sharpshooter, who's had one outstanding game. That was the game that the Hornets won with his great fourth-quarter exploits, has come in. 16 on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock here in the first quarter.
See, by Beck being in the game, Kukoc is getting off easy because he'll lay off Beck.
Beck has it nearly stolen and a kick ball, and it'll be Chicago's ball. Scottie Pippen jumped out at Corey Beck and ultimately caused the turnover. Steve Kerr, who has been a terrific marksman from three-point range, one of the three players who have been effective off the bench this series.
Well, anytime Chicago in this series has posted up, three key guys, Kukoc, Kerr, and Burrell, are shooting between 33 and 55% in threes.
That's great performance from the bench. As time runs out, playing for the last shot of the Bulls, down by 5 points, Burrell. And Burrell is fouled by Del Curry with 4.6 seconds remaining. Each team under the limit right now, so the Bulls will inbound with 4.6 remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, that was a good foul. Curry just wanted to stop the clock, even though he had the dribbler leveled off.
And here is Jordan, and Michael Jordan with a great move to the basket. Michael Jordan with 14 points here in the first quarter as time runs out, as the Bulls run off the last 6 points of the quarter. Yet the Charlotte Hornets with Glen Rice with 10 points leading the way for them. And that ties the highest scoring quarter that he's had in this series. At the end of one, the Hornets lead the Bulls by 3. Welcome back to the NBA playoffs on TNT. Game 5 with the Bulls leading the Hornets 3-1. And the Hornets leading by 3 after 1. And a great start for Glen Rice. He'll be 5 for 7 from the field, 10 points.
Well, you're going to see the first one, Pippen fronted, and a nice change of direction with a push-off. This was that curl move where he steps out. Here's a screen and roll. Beautiful, played it well, and there's your ball fake, and then shooting it in your face. Anytime a man is running at you at that angle, always show him ball.
Start of the second quarter, Corey Beck is a guard. B.J. Armstrong there as well, as Pippen easily blocks B.J. Armstrong's shot. No love lost between those two former teammates here in Chicago.
Now, B.J. was wide open. That was a great defensive play by Pippen.
Randy Brown in for the Bulls, and Kukoc from the corner misses, and a fine rebound as Glen Rice tore it away from Dennis Rodman.
When you have 10 inches on a player, you cannot be throwing fadeaway jump shots. You continue to take them to the glass.
Beck takes it to the glass offensively, and the Hornets lead 31-26. So the Bulls come out with Randy Brown and Steve Kerr at guard. Up front, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and Dennis Rodman, and B.J. Armstrong with a steal. Michael Jordan beginning the second on the bench. Curry driving to the basket is fouled from behind by Steve Kerr.
Now, two things have just happened in Charlotte's 2 possessions. This you've got to see. Anytime Kukoc is playing Beck, Beck has got to take him off the dribble. Kukoc is playing you for the drive, but you still can beat him because he has slow foot movement. And now, on this play, Curry, in his athleticism, can handle Kerr anytime in open floor transition.
Del Curry, the only original Hornet remaining, 36% shooter thus far from the series, but had a big 15-point game in the victory in Game 2. You see Michael resting on the bench as the Hornets lead 33-26.
Yeah, that's not a zone press. It's a man-to-man matchup.
Pippen, and it drops for him. So Scottie Pippen, whose game can't be measured in sheer numbers with his performance in this series. He's been a ball-handling point forward, so to speak. Great defensive performance, and has been a key with his defense.
Well, he's doing everything. See, the 7 rebounds and the 5 assists are key with him. Because you're getting the defense. He handles the middle of the fast break in transition. He just does it all.
16 on the shot clock as the Hornets get the offensive rebound, and Rice's turnaround And it was Pippen all over him again. Scottie Pippen making it tough on Glen Rice, who had an outstanding first quarter with 10. But can it continue? And finally, a foul called as Kukoc is pushed by Corey Beck.
Yeah, see, they got to do that down the floor. Just run him in and post them up lower. Stop posting them up so far out. Get him down on the first marker above the box or post them up even in the lane. No way can Corey Beck or Wesley play behind this guy without him scoring a ton of points.
The Hornets up by 5 points. Bulls got the first basket of the game by Jordan, led 4-2. Other than that, it's been Charlotte with the lead. Double team on Kukoc. Randy Brown will go back to Tony with 10 on the clock.
See, Rice is pushing him up. See, he's out muscling him.
And Randy Brown misses the lay-in. Rodman trying to keep it alive, and finally Scottie Pippen says enough of that.
Well, you see, when you go small like they are right now, Mason and Rice are your two rebounders. The other three guys never rebound. So you're at the mercy of Chicago, one of the top 3 offensive rebounding teams in the league at 15 a game.
And Dave Collins may have seen enough, Hubie, because Vlade Divac got off the bench, now sitting down again. The double on Mason. Beck is open. And Rodman getting the rebound for the Bulls. Bulls trail by 3. Nearly 3 minutes have elapsed here in the second quarter. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown and Craig Sager. Game 5 as the Bulls hope to keep pace with everyone else who won in 5 in the playoffs. And that is Steve Kerr hitting from outside, and it's a 1-point Charlotte lead.
When you have guards in the game and one guard sets a screen for you, and then you see Steve Kerr come off, you've got to switch. You can't give Steve Kerr a wide open shot off the screen and roll.
Well, Jordan's on the bench, but Pippen doing his job on the court, and a timeout called by the Hornets. We'll be right back.
This team outplayed us, involved in 4 close games, and they won 3 of the 4 close games. And you got to give them credit for that.
For the 4th straight year, the Knicks are knocked out in the conference semis. For the 3rd time in 5 years, the Pacers advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Complete highlights and all the postgame yada, yada, yada at halftime. Let us get back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. The Hornets leading by 1 point. Vlade Divac's back in there, and there you see the Pacers winning in 5, and the Bulls and Pacers, 2 of the oldest teams in the NBA, each with 4 starters, 30 years or more, and Chicago doesn't need to play any extra games before they face Indiana. So that's why it's urgent that they win tonight. There is Michael Jordan, who has 14 points on 7-11 shooting, and he's back in there. Divac with Rice, Mason, Curry, and David Wesley, and Anthony Mason with the fall-away now has 8 points.
Well, they're right back now with their regular starting front line. Let's see if they can grab hold of this game again and push the Bulls back.
There is Scottie Pippen. He gets Wesley in the air. This is the shot, and Divac with the rebound.
See, when Divac was in the game, Dick, in that first quarter, and he missed, Divac would get the rebound, kick it out, and they were out in transition. When they took him out of the game, no fast break points.
Here is Mason, who hasn't yet missed from the field, going in for a close shot, and finally misses. He's 4 of 5 now. And the Bulls trailing by 3 with slightly more than 4 minutes gone by here in the second quarter.
Oh, boy, good back screen by Luke Longley. Pippen is wide open.
Kerr working against Del Curry, and Curry is called for the reach-in foul. That'll be his second.
Yeah, Curry reached in that time on that move. Just keep an eye on this. Watch Pippen to the right of your screen. He runs him right off. Ooh, wide open. The lob was there. I know Divac came back, but the initial move was there.
And Steve Kerr on the free throw line, shooting his first. Weeknights on TNT exclusively. Watch Babylon 5, the best sci-fi series ever made. Tune in tomorrow at 7.
Now, Steve Kerr is just shooting extremely well in the series. 47% from the field, 56 in threes.
Of course, remember, it was Kerr who put the dagger in the heart of the Utah Jazz in the 6th game to give the Bulls their 5th NBA championship, as Bobby Phills has come in for Del Curry. So Wesley and Phills, the starting backcourt. Mason, Rice, and Divac. Game starting 5 in there as Rice tries to get it inside. 11 on the shot clock, and here is Mason going in, and Jordan falls off the rim.
You got to play the board tonight. He's got to get a better angle and play off the board. Now the last 2 moves were great moves, but no cigar.
Jordan behind the arc misses the 3, and Mason with the rebound for the Hornets. Hornets leading 35-34 with a precarious lead, although they have played well in this first half. Divac's in and out, and a lot of the shots which had fallen for the Hornets earlier now going out of the basket.
Well, they're playing at a much quicker tempo, Dick, and with that, they're getting better looks at the basket. They're not trying to grind half court against the Chicago defense.
Pippen with a miss, and the battle for the loose ball won by Luke Longley. And a block inside and a kick ball, and it's going to be Charlotte's ball with 6:40 remaining in what has been an end-to-end, pretty entertaining first half. Phil Jackson's entertained as the Hornets lead by 1. We'll be right back. Tight game here at the United Center. We want to remind you that beginning July 19th, TBS Superstation brings you the 4th Goodwill Games from New York. 1,500 athletes, including figure skater Michelle Kwan, compete in 15 sports. Well, the Charlotte Hornets, 67% shooting in the first quarter, only 22% so far in the second, but still have the lead.
Well, outside of Rice and Wesley, the rest of the guys are struggling here.
There's Anthony Mason going up again, and Mason this time connects. Mason now with 10 points. Rice and Mason each have 10, so if you're wondering where those two are, they're scoring tonight.
See, Rodman knows that he has to stay in the game. You cannot pick up any cheap fouls. So you don't have to stay fading away. If you continue to take them to the glass, you're going to get higher percentage shots.
Kerr looking for room at the top of the key. Steve Kerr now with 6 points, all here in the second quarter. And a 1-point lead again for the Charlotte Hornets, trying to stay alive in this best-of-7 series. Here's Rice with a fall-away, and Rice now with 12.
Now, right now, we have Divac and Rodman pushing and shoving. The referee right on Danny Crawford, right on top of it,
well,
talking to them.
They've been locked in a double foul skirmish throughout this series. And there's Louis Grillo calling a foul away from the ball on Bobby Phills.
Yeah, now what you're going to see underneath the basket here as this ball goes up to the hole and through, this is where it all happens. See, Divac came back, caught him in the face. Rodman hit him. Now they're just going to be talking as they're going back and forth. But you know one thing about Divac, he's not going to throw a punch. So, and you know Rodman, they're still waiting for his first punch. Okay? All the antagonizing
commentary there by Hubie, but a true one. Here is Bill Wennington just coming in the game. Wennington, in brief action, is 3 of 4 from the field in this series, and that's the kind of shot that he likes.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's amazing how he does it, how he can sit, he can play 20 minutes one night, and then not play for 2 weeks and then come in and hit his first shot.
Well, he's grateful that he was on the playoff roster this season after being left off a year ago. Michael Jordan, who has yet to take a shot since coming in the second quarter, still with the 14 he had in the opening stanza, and working against Mason. And Mason did a good job, but Pippen taps it out to Kerr.
Yes, he did, Dick. He did not get beat off the dribble. Played Michael really well.
Tough play by Pippen, cannot convert, and here is Mason with the ball. So the Hornets maintain the lead. The Bulls have yet to get back the lead after the opening moments of the game. Mason. Phil's crashing the board, but Michael Jordan bringing it up on the open floor.
Divac has got to react a lot quicker when Longley goes to double team. But
Pippen misses, and finally Rodman tips it in. Dennis Rodman with another big offensive rebound.
Yeah, they get 2 taps at the basket, and you have the green shirts there, but they've got to do a better job.
Dennis Rodman averaging nearly 17 rebounds in this series, already has 9, and we have 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. And the Bulls leading 40-39, their first lead since they were up 4-2 in the opening minutes.
Well, Dave Cowens is all over Danny Crawford. He wanted a foul on Divac missing that layup.
And David Wesley with the foul.
Now keep an eye on Rodman to the left of the rim. Now it's a miss by Pippen. All right, there's 1, and you got 2. He's right up inside. He's inside of Divac.
20-second timeout called by the Charlotte Hornets, who have lost their lead. They were up by as many as 9 on 3 occasions, but the Bulls lead by 1 in what is expected around Chicago to be the knockout game as the Bulls look to move on.
Well, like Dave Cowens told us, Dick, that it's fine. They get out to the fast starts in these contests, but then Chicago makes up ground in the second and third quarters, and that's been their major problem. Can they do something here in this last 3 minutes and 58 seconds?
And, you know, Dave Cowens even touched on something you don't normally do. He says maybe this team is not in the kind of shape it should be in. And he said that after they kind of ran out of gas dramatically in game number 4.
Well, you know, his point is that we needed a better defensive effort. And I like what Dave Cowens said, you know, earlier in the season. He says, you know, the NBA, it's all about effort, not about talking and not about slogans. You know, I kind of like that.
You're a guy who knows that better than
That's absolutely right. And I think the biggest thing that he's disappointed in is the defensive tenacity. It's not there.
Michael Jordan guarded by Mason, goes around Mason, tried to reverse layup, but Divac plucks it out of the air, and Jordan knocks it away. Michael Jordan, who is named to the NBA's all-defensive first team for a record 9th time.
I'm surprised Michael didn't take one more dribble on that last play, and I could have laid it up underneath.
B.J. Armstrong, Mason, and now Phils misses, so Bobby Phils struggling throughout the series with his perimeter shot. Scottie Pippen and Divac's over the top, Bill Winnington, and will be called for the foul. That is the second team foul against the Chicago Bulls, who lead by 1 with 3:25 to go. Del Curry quickly comes back into the game, replacing Phils, and Dave Cowens hopes that Curry has a shooting eye, because Phils certainly does not.
No, what he's looking for right now is for Curry to get hot here in the last 3 minutes, maybe he can get 2 or 3 field goals.
Phils 0 for 3 while he was in there. Mason and Rodman. Pippen really wreaking havoc on Glen Rice, but Rice hits anyway. He dribbled away from Pippen, and Rice now with 14 points on 6 of 9 shooting.
Dick, you made a great point. He dribbled away from him, and I think he caught Pippen by surprise.
Curry knocks it out of bounds, and 15 on the shot clock for the Chicago Bulls, and a timeout called with 2:51 remaining in the first half. Tight game, 1-point lead for the Hornets.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Holiday Inn Hotels. We're making every Holiday Inn as good as the best Holiday Inn. And by Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
Now watch Glen Rice with the basketball right here. Divac is going to come up and set a screen. Pippen is going to jump and take away the screen and roll, so Rice goes opposite, because look how deep Luke Longley is away from the play.
And there's Rice getting the jumper. Bulls missing. There's Michael Jordan, now 0 for 4 shooting here in the second quarter after 14 points on 7 of 14 in the first, and illegal defense is the call against the Chicago Bulls. That's the first. Next time, of course, the technical free throw.
Yeah, they had Rodman. Rodman was in the lane that time, and you're not allowed to be inside of that white line in the lane if your man is out in the corner. They caught Rodman 1 zone away.
2:34 remaining in the first half. The Hornets leading the Bulls by 1. B.J. Armstrong, the point guard.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Glen Rice coming around the screen, and Rice hits. And they got Pippen screened out of that play, and Glen Rice now with 16 points.
They got a technical foul. Yeah, and it happened after the field goal. They ran a stagger screen for Rice. Rice came off and hit it, and then they caught Del Curry underneath the basket. Now, the referees were right on top of him.
And Kerr will be going to the line. Steve Kerr, 6 points, all here in the second quarter. Hornets leading by 2, 43-41. They were up by 3 at the end of 1 quarter. They had a 9-point lead. In the late stages of the first quarter, the Bulls briefly took the lead here in the second, but the Hornets back in front by 2. But the Bulls have the ball. Michael Jordan, who has yet to score here in the second quarter. And that is that. Michael Jordan finally getting on the board here in the second quarter.
Well, if Michael continues to take Mason to the basket, if you notice, his last 3 drives, he's gotten a good look at the basket on every one.
Tied at 43, under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Armstrong getting it down to Divac. And Jordan quickly gets back to B.J. Armstrong. And here's Wennington, and Divac working in close. And Divac can't bank it off the glass. And the Bulls now with a 3-on-2 break. Scottie Pippen slows it down. Kerr left open for the 3. He's got it. Steve Kerr, who has been dynamite from three-point range, is 6 for 10 in the series.
And he's looking for it. He's the last guy in transition. But more important, every guy on the team is looking for him for that spot up.
And the Bulls lead by 3, and that has been their biggest lead. And here is Divac again in the corner. Armstrong, B.J. Armstrong shooting before Kerr could get to it. His first points of the game, and the Bulls lead is 1 as we wind down to a minute remaining in what has been a nip-and-tuck first half.
Well, we've seen a lot of excellent basketball moves here. Good transition and terrific open shooting.
Wennington's miss cleared by Glen Rice. And the Hornets looking to regain the lead.
Good play by Pippen.
And Rodman gets Pippen, and Scottie Pippen was behind all of that.
Yeah, that was a good deflection by Pippen. He faked one way on Mason, came around, and tapped it from the rear.
Bulls have 1 foul to give with nearly a half a minute remaining in the half and 13 on the shot clock. Armstrong forces it up. And Rodman takes it down, and Rice tries for the interception, knocked by Pippen. And it's going to be Bulls ball, and no harm done there.
Look at the strip. Beautiful deflection by Pippen. He gambled from the rear, and this is a good look down the floor.
As Pippen sends it home, Scottie now with 8 points, and the Bulls calling a 20-second timeout with 26.1 on the clock in the half. The Bulls leading by 3 points. So with Charlotte playing as well as we've seen them play, Hubie, with the exception of the fourth quarter in game 2, are finding themselves on the short end.
Well, they can't play any better than they are right now from an offensive standpoint, other than improve those little pivot moves, 3 by Mason and 1 by Divac, that they should have had.
On the Nike halftime report coming up, Pacers and Knicks highlights with Indiana moving on to the Eastern Finals, and EJ joined by Kenny Smith and PJ Brown in our Atlanta studio. The Bulls have 21 seconds on the shot clock. A differential of 5.1 as Kukoc is in there along with Pippen, Kerr, Jordan, and Wennington.
Yeah, they have all their perimeter guys in there right now, and their three-point specialists, meaning Kerr, Kukoc, Pippen, and then also Michael. Plus, you cannot leave Wennington to double team because of the 17 to 20-foot jump shot threat.
Extending the floor are the Bulls with 9. Pippen to Jordan. And here is Pippen working against Rice, and the foul committed by Glen Rice will send Pippen to the line. That is the 15th foul against the Hornets.
Just in this last 1 minute and 15, 1 minute and 30 seconds, Charlotte failed to pay attention. And the next thing you know, if they make both of these, you're going to walk out of here with either a 3, 4, or 5-point lead.
Pippen missing the free throw. Scottie Pippen in the series doing so much more than these numbers indicate, but these numbers aren't bad.
Not bad for your small forward when he gives you 7 rebounds and then also is the key guy in the middle of the break. Naturally, he's picking up his assists, and then we all know that he is a major threat. He attempts 4 threes a game, usually in transition.
Scott Burrell has come in the game, so Burrell in for defensive purposes. Final seconds with a 4-point Chicago lead. Anthony Mason finding Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong goes behind and loses the ball. And that'll do it. That will not count if it goes. And the good point, UB, about the Charlotte Hornets down the stretch. Lost some concentration, and they paid for it. Michael Jordan has 16, but Steve Kerr scoring 10 in the second quarter off the bench. And at the end of the first half here at the United Center, the Bulls lead the Hornets by a score of 49 to 45.
Well, Charlotte had a 9-point lead 3 times in this game, but at the break, the Bulls trying to close them out, lead at 49-45 behind 16 from Michael Jordan. We welcome you to the Nike halftime report. That's Collier Brown, Jr. You can call him PJ. This is Ken Smith. You can call him Kenny.
Pulling out the archives.
I'm Ernie Johnson.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Anyway, first half here, Charlotte trying to stay alive, and Glen Rice is their guy. Kind of a lightning rod for criticism when things aren't going well, but a good start for him tonight.
Doing a great job. I think the whole team came out aggressive, and it all started with Glen Rice. He's been cold Rice, but tonight he started out. It's been hot Rice. You got here, Glen Rice gets it early, goes to the hole strong, gets a great layup. In the next clip, you got Glen. Gets the ball, up face Scottie Pippen with a great up fake, nice rub Jay. All this to get his game going, and I see this continuing throughout the rest of the game.
10 points in the first quarter and 16 points in the half. Your take on the first 24 minutes, Ken?
Well, I want Charlotte to win. However, we all know that the Chicago Bulls are going to finish them off. They're great at finishing teams off. Don't turn the TVs off because Michael might do something special. Yeah. But
way to cover yourself.
Too tough.
Atta,
They're
baby.
too tough.
Okay, so, folks, it's still the outcome still in doubt. Take our word for it. When the Nike halftime report continues, would Indiana come up with a knockout punch tonight? Tell you the guy doing the damage in this winner-go-home game for the Knicks was Mark Jackson. Triple-double. And had everybody on the Indiana side all smiles, including the Coach of the Year. Back in a minute. Welcome back to the Nike halftime report. At Market Square tonight, Coach of the Year honors going to Larry Bird. And the hot guy early for the Knicks, Allen Houston, scored 15 points in the first quarter, had 19 and a half, and they're right there in it. Larry Bird's guys responding. Alley-oop to Dale Davis from Mark Jackson, who had 13 dimes on the night. Jackson, watch this sequence here. Antonio Davis back to Jackson, who gets clubbed, and it still goes. Indiana trying to run away, but John Starks and the Knicks had a lot of fight in him, trying to fight off elimination. Starks losing the handle and somehow recovering and up and over Antonio Davis. Spike Lee thinks we're still in this thing, but not for long. Rick Smits drains the jumper. He had 22 on the night. Larry Bird shaking hands with Slick Leonard, who led the Pacers of the ABA to 3 titles in that league. 99-88 in the clincher. The Pacers win it by 11. Jackson with the triple-double. Houston goes for 33 in a losing effort for the New York Knicks. What were they saying after the game?
Mark Jackson plays like he did tonight. I mean, it was just truly amazing to watch to me. I mean, I've been around this league a long time, and watch a point guard do what he did tonight is spectacular.
This is not what we wanted to do. This is not our ultimate goal, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So there's no reason to jump and rant and rave and high five and hug, because the ultimate goal is to win the whole thing.
Mark Jackson, what a story tonight. And before we get to him, let's talk a little bit about the free throw differential. And this is huge in this series. Look at this. Plus 17 in favor of Indiana in game 1, plus 20 tonight. In fact, they made more free throws than the Knicks attempted in the series, which tells you a lot in a 5-game series won by the Indiana Pacers. Now to Mark Jackson, the guy who in game 4 went for 16 points and 15 assists, continues it tonight with a triple-double.
Yeah, my Queens, New York native, Mark Jackson. He came up big tonight. He cut out all of the annex, but he still was effective. 22 points, 13 assists, 14 rebounds. Here he is. Who's the best post player on Indiana? Rick Smits? No, he's the best jump shooter. Mark Jackson's in the post, throwing it out to him. The point guard is the best post-up player on your team, which is incredible. Here he is, back in the post again. Normally, he's the guy who's to be outside. He throws behind the back pass. No, he gets in the paint. This is where he wants to be. At 6'3", he wants to live in the paint, gets 22 points, 13 assists, 14 rebounds. Best in the business right now in the playoffs.
And 10 out of 10 from the free throw line. Meantime, somebody coming off the Indiana bench, huge Antonio Davis, PJ.
My type of guy, garbage man, my type of player. Like PJ Brown. He came off and did a lot of great things, big force inside, and came out and just did a great job. Here he seals Ewing down low for the easy layup over Ewing, comes down. Next he comes and Allen Houston drives to the hole, but he comes over and gets a great block on Allen. Been there all night for him. To me, my MVP for tonight. Did a great job for the Pacers tonight.
Indiana Pacers did not make the playoffs last year. They make the conference finals this time around. The last team to do that, the '92 Cleveland Cavaliers, who beat the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird to get to the conference finals. Back to wrap up the Nike halftime report in just a second. Don't forget, y'all, we got Inside the NBA coming up after the Hornets and the Bulls. Vince Cellini and Damon Stoudemire take you through the night in the NBA playoffs. Friday night, if there's a Game 6 between the Bulls and the Hornets, you'll see it right here. Of course, they're playing Game 5 right now, third quarter coming up. NBC Saturday has Game 1 between the Lakers and the Jazz from the Delta Center. Showtime starts at 3 o'clock. The tip at 3:30. And on TNT Monday night, we'll have Game 2 of that series, the Lakers and the Jazz from the Delta Center. Pre-game show at 8, tip at 8:30 Eastern Time. I want to thank P.J. Brown for stopping by the last 2 nights. It's good to see you, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Have some lovely party gifts for you and the home version of our game.
Appreciate it.
Going to the third quarter at the United Center. It's 49-45. The Bulls with the lead over the Bees.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
And welcome back to the NBA playoffs on TNT from the United Center in Chicago. Game 5 between the Bulls and the Hornets. The Bulls leading 3-1 and leading 49-45, holding the Hornets to only 16 points in the second quarter. Looking at the key statistics at halftime, both teams cooled off in the shooting department in the second quarter, including Michael Jordan, who has 16 points but only 1 of 5 in the second. Big story with the offensive rebounding for the Chicago Bulls. And Hubie, let me ask you, do you think that the Charlotte Hornets have raised their game somewhat from what we've seen in the last 2?
Well, we're seeing a better offensive flow. Right now, you know, you have Rice, you have Mason and Wesley scoring. The bench did a nice job. But they've got to improve. They've got to take care of the defensive rebounding because it's 7-0 Chicago in points. And then also they've only been to the foul line for 2 shot attempts. At the other side, how about Steve Kerr? Came off the bench, 10 points, and just did an excellent job. 3 for 3 in field goals, and then a 1 3-point attempt, and he knocked it down. Now just keep an eye on Scottie Pippen right here as he comes into this area. Here is Steve. He's running up the floor, and he's coming to one of his favorite areas to shoot the 3. Now just watch as he flows. Pippen will always challenge the defense, and as he looks back, he looks in the post first, then back to Steve Kerr. They have such great confidence in him, Dick, and he has not let him down. Coming into this game, 56% in threes.
Glen Rice shooting much better in this game, and there you see what Rice has done. Scottie Pippen trying to do the defensive job as he's had through the series, but Glen Rice with 16 points thus far in the game. Michael Jordan, as we showed you, 7 of 11 in the first quarter, 1 for 5. Since then, has not gone to the free throw line, which is unusual for Michael. Right now, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Dave Cowens was pretty pleased with that first half. He said particularly the first quarter when they were running their offense so well and got off to the good start. 2 things bother him or concern him. One, the second chance points. The Bulls lead that category 7-0. But, of course, that will happen with some of the mismatches we've been seeing. And also, as you guessed it, Steve Kerr. He said he had B.J. Armstrong out there figuring B.J. knew exactly where Kerr would be. But that bothered more than anything. Kerr getting 10 points in that second quarter. Nick?
All right, Craig. And going in, another problem for the Hornets is they've gone to the free throw line 20 fewer times than the Chicago Bulls. They only went to the line 2 times in the first half, and that's got to get better for them.
Well, Dick, over the 4 previous games, the Bulls have a 6-point advantage in the painted area, and then naturally there are so many times that the Bulls get to the line because of their physical play. But that's something that we are seeing, and you are hoping right now that at the Charlotte end that Mason and Divac will make these in-close shots that they're getting within 5 or 6 feet of the basket.
David Wesley and Bobby Phil start in the backcourt, and it's Glen Rice, Vlade Divac, and Anthony Mason up front. Rice had 16, Mason 10, and 9 for Wesley in the first half scoring for the Charlotte Hornets, who trail by 4. There's 7 on the shot clock, and there is Wesley. And David Wesley with the basket. And it's a 49-47 game. So Wesley now in double figures with 11.
Well, Dick, that was a nice continuity. He ran a stagger screen on one side for Wesley, and then on the other side, they were trying to post up Phils, and they got a nice shot. Oh, good anticipation.
Phils very nearly with the steal. 9 on the shot clock. Scottie Pippen leaves it for Luke Longley. Misses from the corner, and Glen Rice has the rebound.
If they'll get out and run, everything will be okay.
Rice, by the way, 6 rebounds in the first half, has 1 now. And Michael Jordan gets called for his first foul.
Right now, the perimeter people of Charlotte have got to understand, when that ball hits the rim, you have got to start establishing your lanes, and you're going to get out and you're going to run hard, because the Bulls are slow getting back tonight, and you can get some easy points.
Dennis Rodman defending along with Luke Longley, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Ron Harper. Here is Mason with the hook shot, and Anthony Mason now 6 of 9 from the field and 12 points.
He's so big in the shoulders and the bulk against Rodman. Rodman's giving him 50 pounds. Rodman isn't going to block your shot. That's not in Rodman's repertoire. Take him and go over him.
Michael Jordan misses his first shot, but Harper getting the rebound. Dennis Rodman is an anticipator more than a shot blocker. Here is Pippen using the screen from Rodman and way off the glass. That wasn't even close.
3 and 2 here.
Wesley fires and hits the open shot. So David Wesley 2 for 2, and Phil Jackson wants a quick timeout as the Hornets lead 51-49, scoring the first 6 points of this third quarter. A 20-second timeout it is.
Now, that was a good call by Phil Jackson. You have to stop this and get your guys to pay attention. See, right down in here, because of Mason's bulk, and he's got the hook, you've got to come up over the top if you think you're going to block that shot. And if with Longley double teams, then on the miss, you got the offensive board. Now, Wesley is in a rhythm right now. He's confident tonight. That makes him 5 for 9 in this ball game, 3 of them in transition. So he's getting that 15, 18-foot shot.
Well, you pointed out he's shooting scoring only half of what his season's average was, 6.5 compared to 13 during the regular season, but now he has 13. So this is the David Wesley the Hornets saw during the regular season.
Yeah, and that's what they were hoping for. Plus, Rice, Mason, and Wesley are scoring. It's the first time all 3 of them have done that in a game.
Michael Jordan comes up short, but Rodman gets the basket, and the score is tied at 51. The first basket by the Bulls, and it takes them nearly 2 minutes of this second half. Turnover as Wesley lost the ball. Remember, turnovers really killed the Hornets in game 1 of the series when they coughed it up 19 times.
Dick, that was Dennis Rodman's 5th offensive rebound in this game.
And Rodman and Divac now trying to keep things under control.
Now this is just a nice move by Michael. He spins in here, but nothing happens, and Dennis is right there for his 13th board, his 5th offensive, and once again now, second chance points, 9-0 Chicago.
That could loom large as you look at the offensive rebounding story as this game moves along. David Wesley, by the way, with his second personal foul. Here is Pippen posting up, out of bounds, last touch by the Hornets.
Mason got away with a good, strong strip that time. He caught Pippen before Pippen got that ball up above his numbers.
Mason is guarding Pippen right now. Jordan guarded by Phils. Phils has had his hands full against Michael Jordan in this series. Scottie Pippen misses. Harper tips it in. Ron Harper, who, as we pointed out in game number 3, has been bothered by a hamstring pull, not 100%.
Doesn't it sound easy? Take care of your defensive boards and everything will be fine. Well, now it's 11-0 and second chance point.
And that's like a slow death for teams.
Well, you know, you got to pay attention to the ball. You cannot average 15 offensive rebounds a game if you don't have people who will sacrifice their bodies.
Wesley hits a 3. So David Wesley with his second 3-point basket of the game. And it's 54-53. The Hornets lead. 16 for Wesley. Rice also with 16. And Jordan wide open in the corner hits. Michael Jordan now with 18 points.
Now that time, Michael Jordan faked going backdoor on the baseline, which is part of the triangle, and Mason just died. And he never came back as Michael faked and came back.
Harper is over Rice. Long shot by Glen Rice, and that is a three. Glen Rice, who is 6th in the NBA in three-point baskets this year.
From the mezzanine.
Yes.
Shot that one from the mezzanine.
And they got several mezzanines here, Hubie. They go up pretty high at the United Center. Michael Jordan comes back with a basket and a flurry of hoops going on. And once again, Rodman and Divac get tangled up. That's been an ongoing story throughout this series. The game is tied at 57. A little more than 4 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Rice with a quick release and another three. Glen Rice has hit his second straight three-point basket, and the Hornets are up by 60 to 57.
I'm so happy for Rice because now you're seeing him at his best. This is a guy now who's on top of his game.
Here's Ron Harper. He misses a three. Another offensive rebound and goaltending. And credit the basket to Dennis Rodman, who's owning the offensive glass.
Now you've got to pay attention to this guy. Now keep an eye on Rice right here. This is quick. A quick move. He froze Pippen a little bit by looking that he attempted a drive. Looked like he might go off the dribble.
Charlotte Hornets leading by one. They have yet to miss here in the third quarter, hitting their first 6 shots from the field, including 3 from beyond the arc. Here is Mason, and Rodman grabs him, and they're going to call the foul before the shot on Dennis Rodman, and that'll be his second personal.
Now, that's a good, strong move by Mason. He had him on his back, no doubt about it. Dennis had to foul him, or that would have been a layup.
Wesley will inbound, and Dave Cowens wants a timeout. Dave Cowens has to like what he's seen other than the boards here in the third quarter. Hornets by 1, 7:14 left.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by your local AutoZone stores. For the right parts at the right price, look no further than AutoZone. And by Lexus. The future of Lexus is here. Fasten your seatbelts.
After trailing by 4 at the half, the Hornets lead by 1 thanks to Glen Rice, who has come out, and he has had a hot and cold series, coming off his lowest scoring output, just 13 points in Sunday's Game 4. But this is a different story tonight, Hubie.
Well, you can see that he's on fire. Not only the 22 points, but the 10 for 13 from the field. He's only shooting 40% in this series coming into tonight, but he was getting 20 shot attempts. He did attempt 5 threes a game, but he was struggling at the three, only shooting 26. But tonight, we're getting the full package and a nice opportunity to appreciate his talents.
Hornets 3 for 3 beyond the arc. They were 3rd in the NBA in three-point percentage. Wesley misses from 3, and Harper gets the rebound.
He rushed that thing. He was not set.
Bulls, on the other hand, only 1 of 9 from the trifecta. Here is Rodman, and Rodman forces that shot up. He had Wesley on him, thought he could get it over the smaller player. Tipped by Pippen, and a steal. Errant pass by Wesley, very careless, and Scottie Pippen is fouled by Vlade Divac. Sometimes the Charlotte Hornets play like they're in a fog and make some careless passes against a great defensive team.
Well, you know, we haven't seen that many turnovers in the first half, but right now you're going to see a smart foul by Divac because you're going to force Pippen to go to the line and make the foul shots. But you're right, Dick, about concentration. Concentration is right here now is protect the basketball. Number 2, take care of your defensive boards. And number 3, don't force these shots with 15 seconds on the shot clock. You got plenty of time.
Sometimes the opposition makes steals. Other times you make a careless play.
And that was a careless play. You're right on top of that. See, Pippen is so dangerous in the open floor because he gets 2 to 3 steals a game.
His wingspan is phenomenal. Here is Rice. And Rice, unstoppable. That was a high arcing shot, and I think in the mezzanine, they saw that ball cross their eyes. Hornets lead by 1, 62 to 61, nearly halfway through this third quarter. Luke Longley sets it for Michael Jordan out of the triangle offense. Hornets, and Michael Jordan now with 22. He and Rice in a shootout tonight. Rice with 24 and MJ with 22.
Yeah, Michael fake going baseline on that, and then he came right up on a split cut, caught Mason.
Here's Wesley off the screen. Jordan trying to stay with him, and Glen Rice with the hot hand goes up and misses the layup. Tough defense inside by the Bulls. Rice now on the defensive end guarding Scottie Pippen, who's been his nemesis. But not tonight. Rodman has it tipped by Phils. Pippen wending his way through, and finally a bump foul against the Hornets, and that'll be against Rice, his second.
Yeah, they should have had him on the floor. They should take this out on the side. Now keep an eye on Rice right now. Pippen has no idea which way he's going to cut. Good screen that time by Vlade, and a second screen. Longley was late getting there for the help. At the other end, now just keep an eye. Michael's going to come right into your picture. You see where Mason was playing him for the baseline back door. Beautiful move by all good offensive players. Read the defense.
Corey Beck replaces Bobby Phils in the backcourt for the Hornets. 15 on the shot clock. Harper with a great finger roll inside. Ron Harper with 4 points. He hasn't done much scoring in the series as Ron Harper. 8 has been his high in any game. That was in game number 3.
Yeah, that was a great pass.
Scrambling defense by the Chicago Bulls, and a foul, pushing foul, is called against Michael Jordan, his second.
Right now, with Beck and Wesley in there, you're very small in the back, in the guards. Nice pass by Longley on a change of direction by Harper.
Each team has committed 3 team fouls here in the third quarter with just under 5 minutes remaining. Jordan trying to pick at the ball, knock it loose from Wesley. Here is Divac, double teamed, and Divac beats the double and triple team. And Vlade Divac only his 4th point of the game.
Yeah, we have not seen him be an offensive threat this evening, but we know that all the moves are there, and he could get hot at any time.
And it's Mason now guarding Michael Jordan. He started the game on Jordan. Rodman tries to get it into Pippen, and a foul before the shot, and that'll be on Corey Beck, the 4th team foul on Charlotte.
Now this is just a good move by Divac. So just watch, see, he loves that baseline spin. And when he spins, he doesn't throw the fadeaway. He steps right underneath you.
Divac, who played as a member of the Lakers against the Chicago Bulls when they won their first of 5 NBA championships. He's a free agent and has never given up his home in Los Angeles. So who knows what the makeup of the Charlotte Hornet team could be next year. We could be a lot of changes.
Well, an interesting fact tonight, one of the fellas here knowledgeable about Divac said that Divac's wife is producing 2 movies this summer in Los Angeles. And, you know, they're talking, a lot of people are saying that the Clippers might have inside track on Divac.
Scottie Pippen loses his footing. You saw J.R. Reed and B.J. Armstrong come into the game for the Hornets.
Good defense.
Good defensive play. Reed got hit, which appears to be all right. Armstrong to Beck. Longley on Beck, so there's a mismatch somewhere else. And Beck throws it away, and that should be a backcourt violation.
Yeah, it was great defense by Longley. Don't get up on a guy who's a questionable perimeter shooter. Beck is very questionable. Longley laid off him and then said, okay, take me to the basket. When he took him to the basket, now the size forced him into a bad turnover.
I came back and, you know, trying to help the team to advance. That was the goal. And, you know, it's disappointing that we didn't accomplish it.
Patrick Ewing played in 4 postseason games, averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds tonight. He and the Knicks eliminated by the Pacers in 5, 99-88. The entire story on Inside the NBA with Vince Cellini and Damon Stoudemire. Back to you.
All right, Ernie, and you had to remember that the Knicks might have lost, but Indiana finished only 4 games behind Chicago in the regular season. This is a very fine team, the Pacers.
Yeah, not only that, you got to give them the credit, but Patrick Ewing, before the injury, was averaging 21 points and 10 rebounds. Maybe he thought he was going to come back and average 21 points and 10 rebounds. Unfortunately, only 14 points. 3 games were totally up for grabs, and it could have gone either way.
Jordan misses from the corner, and Glen Rice getting the rebound. Jordan 11 of 22 from the field. Rice, however, 11 of 15, including 2 threes for his 24 points. Corey Beck guarded by Ron Harper, 9 on the shot clock. Divac posting up against Longley, isolated with 4 seconds on the clock. The fall away by Divac. And Ron Harper, a lot more active tonight than he has been in previous games in this series, is Ron Harper, an underrated performer during the regular year for the Bulls. Harper has it knocked away by J.R. Reed, who steps on the line, so the Bulls will retain possession.
All night long, we've been talking about the outstanding explosion of Charlotte. A tremendous shooting. Everybody's on fire. They're doing all of these kind of things. And you look up, Chicago's up 1. They're holding them off, Dick.
You mean the scoreboard is always the gauge, right?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Remember, the Bulls looking to eliminate the Hornets tonight, and Beck trying to post up as the 24-second clock expires. Jordan trying to post up against Corey Beck. They couldn't get the ball to him.
Well, naturally, they're all yelling at Luke Longley because you either yell at Longley or Kukoc on this team. But Michael Jordan has Corey Beck playing him, and he's fronting him. You could lob some. He's going to post him on the other side. They're late on the look, and then they could have thrown the lob right here. You know, you've got to take advantage of what you had. You had a mismatch in the post.
Meanwhile, Michael Jordan commits the foul, his 3rd at the other end. So we rarely see Michael Jordan get 3 personal fouls this early in the game, and we saw a rarity in Charlotte when he got hit with a technical foul and called for traveling. Glen Rice continues his brilliant shooting. Rice now with 26 points on 12 of 16 from the field.
Now Pippen was right up on his shooting hand, and he shot right up over the top of Scottie's outstretched hand.
And the Hornets leading by 1. Then Divac will be called for his 3rd personal foul, and the Hornets are in the penalty. So the Bulls will be shooting with 2:34 remaining in the 3rd. Divac with 3.
Now just keep an eye on Rice as he comes off of this little bit of a screen. Look at that. Longley's hand, and Pippen's hand right there challenging that shot.
We are seeing vintage Glen Rice tonight, even though he did score 31 points in Game 3. This has been unquestionably his best shooting performance.
He's quicker tonight. He's coming off screens. They're re-screening for him. He comes off to one screen. If he's not open, they re-screen in a hurry. And the second screen is opening up, Dick. And then, naturally, he is right at the top as being one of the quickest shooters in the league off the catch.
Jordan going to the bench with 22 points. And replaced by Randy Brown. Vlade Divac with his 3 fouls sits down, and Anthony Mason will replace him. Luke Longley playing more and more, and if the Bulls do survive and win this series against the Hornets, they're going to need the big body against Rick Smits and company in the next round.
Well, he's played well. He's definitely done a good job. The rust is off of his game. He's helping out defensively all over, and then naturally he's always an offensive threat.
The Bulls are leading by 1 with 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. J.R. Reed and Longley hooked up now, and they're going to call Longley. Nope, it's going to be with the hook.
Oh, I can't believe the call. Mainly because Luke Longley horsed him with his leg, hit him with a number of forearms, which is legit, but then for that to be called an offensive foul, I was surprised.
And now, B.J. Armstrong fouling Scottie Pippen. 2:07 on the clock. Bulls with 1, and Pippen going to the line.
At the end of the 2nd quarter, Charlotte fell asleep for a minute and a half, fell down 4. And right now they have to be careful with 2 minutes to go.
Scottie Pippen misses his 2nd free throw. Weeknights on TNT exclusively. Watch Babylon 5. The best sci-fi series ever made. So tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Scottie Pippen, 1 out of 2 from the line. So let's see what happens in the last 2 minutes as the Bulls with a 6-0 run ending the 1st quarter, and then 9-2 ending the 1st half.
Bulls did a good job on that staggered screen for Armstrong.
Mason Armstrong reposting down low. Here is Corey Beck. And the rebound, Longley. Bulls by 2. They have the ball. Rodman has it knocked away by Beck. Goes after the ball, but it's last touched by Beck. And the Bulls will get it back. Great hustle, but he slid out of bounds and last touched the ball.
Now you're going to see just good hustle that time by Corey Beck. But previous to that, you notice tonight they are giving Corey Beck that 15, 18-foot jump shot, and he's not knocking it down.
Corey Beck, who was a teammate of Corliss Williamson at the University of Arkansas. Williamson with a great comeback year for him this year.
Oh, he did, and he was right up there in the balloting for the comeback player, no doubt about it. Also, a 6-man coming off the bench, and he put together 50% shooting, a lot of points, and did a nice job on the boards.
Pippen feeding Longley. And the Bulls with a 4-point lead. That was their margin at halftime. With us a minute and a half, and this got a rise from the crowd.
Well, I told you now, they cannot fall asleep right now, Dick.
They have fallen off in the waning moments, as you pointed out, of the first 2 quarters of this game. And here is Beck. Off balance, Corey Beck getting the basket, and the lead for the Bulls is 2.
Now, the team needed that, and Corey Beck needed that for his confidence.
1 minute remaining in the third quarter, 15 on the shot clock. And a Chicago foul.
Whenever you have small people playing post-up guys, that's what happens. Now, that's just a great pass, a terrific catch, and then a strong move and a smart drop-off. Send it to the big fella.
Let me correct it. It's a Charlotte foul on Beck, his third, and Pippen going to the line. The Bulls have gone to the line 12 times more than the Hornets tonight.
On all of the post-ups right now, if Corey Beck or Armstrong get picked up with Pippen, Pippen is taking him right down the side. Well, what you have to do then is, if you play behind the man, don't foul and put him on the foul line. Force the guy to shoot up over the top.
Bulls lead by 3 as Randy Brown harassing B.J. Armstrong. Pippen is all over Glen Rice. And Rice trying to force it, and the Divac gets it out in a new clock with under 40 seconds remaining in the third. 18 on the shot clock. Here is Rice. Pippen knocking it away, the double team. And there's the pass, thrown away. Divac threw it under the basket, picked off easily by Dennis Rodman.
Now he tried to thread the needle, Dick, and they had a man wide open on the other side of the floor.
Randy Brown gets his own miss. 10 on the shot clock. You watch the game clock in the lower right hand of your screen. And finally a foul called, and once again, no basket. The Bulls will go to the line, leading by 3.
You know, you can play these two small guards together, Beck and Armstrong, but if you notice, the last 6 foul shot attempts is because of mismatches on post-up people. And what they're doing is they're getting caught being fouled because they're not accustomed to being in there defending post-up guys and giving away so much size.
Corey Beck with his 4th personal foul, and Longley makes good on the first. Scottie Burrell for the Bulls, Del Curry for the Hornets. Check in the game. It's an offense-defensive substitution for the respective coaches as Beck sits down with 4. 12.3 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Bulls lead and can open up their biggest lead of the game if Longley can hit the free throw. That would make it a 5-point advantage. Bulls by 5. And putting some pressure on, making the Hornets use the clock. Anthony Mason. Curry. And they didn't get the best shot possibly. And a foul is called as time runs out.
I never heard the whistle, Dick.
I did not, but it's a foul call, and it'll be a shooting situation. With no time, now they put 4 tenths on. Let's see if we pick it up, Hughie.
All right, now it has to be down inside. There it is right there. You can see Rice was jumping Yeah, and Burrell backed him right underneath the rim.
So Glen Rice will go to the line. Burrell, a former member of the Charlotte Hornets for 4 years. And Rice now trying to bring the Hornets to within 3.
Keep an eye right here. Here's where it happens. Just watch on the shot. You'll see Burrell back Rice right out of the picture right there.
.29 points. And let's look. It's 28 for Rice. 28 for Rice and Michael Jordan with 22 points. But Glen Rice with a big third quarter, hitting 2 from downtown. And at the end of 3 here at the United Center, the Bulls lead the Hornets, trying to knock them out by a score of 73-70. Welcome back to the United Center. The start of the fourth quarter, game 5. Bulls trying to move on to the next round. And there is the scoring by quarters in the game as the Hornets outscored the Bulls by 1. But in the big battle between Glen Rice and Michael Jordan, Rice with 28 points. Jordan has 22. Rice 12 of 17 from the field. And Michael Jordan not doing all that bad himself. QB at 50%, 11 for 22. Here is Jordan. Michael Jordan misses the first shot of the fourth quarter. Divac the rebound.
I thought Michael was hit on that, and so did Michael. He made a big complaint. Good defensive effort, though, by Mason.
But the Hornets shooting extremely well. They're at 54% through the first 3 quarters of this game. Anthony Mason with 1 fake. In trouble, Armstrong from the corner. B.J. Armstrong misses, and Longley gets the rebound.
Longley's doing a good job coming over and trapping, meaning big man, and helping out. Discouraging Mason from taking it into the paint.
And you wonder where the Bulls would be without Longley getting back into action in this series. Sorely needing the big man. And the ball taken away. Del Curry with a great save on the seal. So Curry is out there with B.J. Armstrong, Glen Rice, Vlade Divac, and Anthony Mason. Divac playing with 3 fouls. And great move, but misses a layup, but tips it in to avoid utter embarrassment.
Yeah, and not only that, I thought he was crashed into by Dennis Rodman. But that was a terrific move by Divac.
And the Bulls lead is 1. They were up by 5 toward the end of the third quarter, and that amounted to their biggest lead of the game. Scottie Pippen hits a 3. Pippen now with 16 points in the game, and that is only the second 3-point basket by the Bulls. Steve Kerr getting the other one.
He's so dangerous, Dick, because he attempted 5 a game during the season, and he's averaging 4 a game in this playoff series.
Offensive foul, and let's see if Glen Rice. Now Rice and Jordan jawing at each other, and a technical foul has been called as Rice and Jordan face to face. And a technical foul has been called on both Jordan and Rice, a double technical.
Yeah, and Rice is still jawing at him.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Yeah, and Luke Longley, you said something to Mason as Mason came down. Now, there it is there. You can see that Rice stepped into him. Jordan tried to get around. Rice thinks that he threw an elbow at him.
Rice was hit with his 3rd foul, and then the tempers flared.
Well, you can see that Rice is very hot.
Well, 2 technical fouls in this series for Michael Jordan. He's getting a bit feisty in his old age.
A lot of guys in this league might say it's about time.
Rice is going to stay on the floor. Bobby Phills will go out, replaced by David Wesley. So Wesley is guarding Steve Kerr. Kerr has come on. He has been a dangerous 3-point shooter for the Bulls in this series. Jordan wants the ball, and he's guarded by Anthony Mason. Double team now. Wesley, or Kerr with the fall away. Divac with the rebound, and a loose ball foul called against the Chicago Bulls, and it might have been Rodman. It is 3 on Dennis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. Rodman might have a complaint here. Divac caught the ball up over the top of him. Dennis was inside. And as Dennis reached up, see, Dennis is saying that he came over my back for that rebound. That's why he's all upset.
And a timeout with under 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. That's Rice and Jordan, nose to nose.
We're going to show you why Jordan is upset. Now keep an eye. Jordan is going to come around. Now watch Rice step out here and screen Jordan right here. This is the first hit. All right, boom, catch him with the forearm. That's fine. All right, now as BJ hold it. Now just watch him step up and nail Jordan right here as BJ comes over the top. Now Michael is really upset as Michael now comes back and says something. Rice goes right up into his face. All right, so we can see right now that Rice is the one that popped Jordan first on that play.
Del Curry working against Steve Kerr with 16 on the shot clock. The Bulls lead by 4. We're in the fourth quarter here, and the Charlotte Hornets fighting for their lives in the playoffs. The Bulls want to end it in 5. And Glen Rice hits another one. 30 points for Glen Rice. He is 13 of 18 from the field.
Now that was from left field. Surprisingly, it was not a 3, but that was long-range shooting.
And a critical game is evidenced by the fact that both Glen Rice and Scottie Pippen have played the entire game tonight for their respective teams. And Michael Jordan now, he's got to be more than a little upset. He's got 24 and a steal. Steve Kerr.
Bad turnover. Very bad turnover.
And a 4-point Bulls lead, and they get the ball back on the Hornet turnover. And here is Pippen, guarded by Mason. Divac is out guarding Michael Jordan. 7 on the shot clock. Wesley guarding Longley. Longley gets open and misses the shot. Curry and out of bounds. And let's see who they call it. And the one official said it was Charlotte's ball, the other Chicago's, and it will be Bulls possession underneath.
I thought that was definitely off Charlotte, from our angle. Now as this ball hits, now just right there, it's off Del Curry.
Longley had the big mismatch in his favor. Now Mason is on Michael Jordan. The fall away by Jordan, and he hits. And that was the way Jordan was beating Mason in game number 3 with the fall away.
Yeah, he has his hop right now. He's definitely, no doubt about it. He's quick off the dribble, and then on the jump, it's an explosion.
26 for Jordan, and Glen Rice misses. The ball knocked away. Last touch by Divac. So the Bulls have opened up their biggest lead of the game, 6, with 8:13 to go, and they get the ball back. And you can see how quickly the Bulls can put teams away if Charlotte doesn't stop the surge soon.
Yeah, they got to get right back. Refocus, like they say today. Refocus. Get your concentration back here.
And Longley get called with the push on Divac. Luke Longley with his second.
Well, the referees are going to call every single thing that looks like a foul right now. Now you can see right there, right there, first you had defense with a push, and Longley came back and hit Divac right in the face with that elbow.
Mason posting up against Rodman. Jordan trying to deflect that pass. Great court awareness that Michael Jordan have. And there is Mason inside.
There it is.
And Anthony Mason now with 14 points on 7 of 10 shooting. And the lead again was 4 for the Bulls.
He can do that all night. He can do that all night on him.
Curry guarding Kerr. Kerr getting the ball back. No way to shoot over Divac. Longley goes back to Kerr. And Rodman with another offensive rebound. How often have we said that? Pippen to Kerr. And Rodman, Curry trying to save it, and Rodman gets knocked into the Charlotte bench, and they say it's Chicago ball, and a technical foul against Dave Powell. Or maybe Mason.
No, it's Curry. Probably on Curry.
Well, you could take your choice.
Yeah, you're right.
And the second technical on Curry.
Now he's gone. Yeah, now he's all upset. Now you just don't want to get anything else. You don't want to fine here right now. That's big.
I know he's all upset. No doubt about it, but as soon as he attacked the referee, now you got to get him out of here because you do not want another technical, and then also you don't want a fine.
Del Curry with his second technical and being escorted off the floor.
Now keep an eye on this ball. Now Longley knocks it. It goes over the top. Now as Curry comes in here, Rodman over the back. Rodman came in with the one hand, but the Danny Crawford was standing right there, so he had to look at it. Our camera is coming from the other side of the floor.
Curry makes good on the technical.
Now keep an eye now to the top of your screen. Now, well, right there, it's definitely off of Curry, but Curry wants the foul of Rodman coming over his shoulder. Now, as soon as he jumped into Danny Crawford's face, Crawford wasted no time to call the technical. But Rodman definitely fouled him over the shoulder, but the ball did go off the chest of Curry.
Curry ejected, having scored 2 points in the game, and the Bulls lead 81-76. Michael Jordan with a screen from Rodman. 28 points for Michael Jordan.
That's the third time, Dick, that he didn't go back door, that he ran that split cut and was wide open, and it's his third score off of that move.
Again, here is Mason down low against Rodman, and it's Jordan with a block. Michael Jordan, who is playing inspired basketball right now at both ends of the floor. And I'm sure the scrimmage with Glen Rice had a lot to do with that.
No doubt about it, because what it did was it ignited the building. And a great defensive effort by Michael.
And here is tonight's Dutch boy in the paint, and this may be the game in capsule. The Bulls' domination off the offensive glass, 16-1 in second chance points.
Very big, Dick. No doubt about it. Now keep an eye on Kerr as he passes in. This is the normal. Michael Jordan fakes going backdoor, comes around and catches Mason for his third field goal off of that split move. You notice Mason went underneath once again.
Vlade Divac on Mason's miss is fouled. And Divac will go to the line to shoot two. Divac scoring only 6 points tonight. Bill Wennington into the game in the last timeout has his second personal foul. And this is only the fifth free throw attempt by the Hornets. They are 5 for 5 and have gone to the free throw line 13 times fewer than the Chicago Bulls, and that looms very large as well.
Well, that's why we say during the season, Dick, they got to the line 27 times a game. In this series, only 18, and then tonight, naturally, it's a major minus.
Moments ago, the Bulls had their biggest lead of 7. It is now a 6-point game. Plenty of time remaining, 6:25 in the fourth. Steve Kerr, how many times has Kerr hit the critical shot in the fourth quarter?
Well, they set a double screen for Steve Kerr on the left side of the lane, and his man cheated. We call that double spacing. And by taking the double space, the cheap way out, it costs you a big field goal.
Biggest lead of 8 now for the Bulls. Mason comes back in his foul and will shoot two. Dennis Rodman with his fourth personal foul. We have just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bulls aware that the Pacers already headed for the Eastern Conference Finals, eliminating the Knicks earlier tonight on TNT in 5 games. Both the Lakers and the Jazz, who start on Saturday, won their series in 5 games, and the Bulls don't need any extra games with these veteran legs before the next round. So they want to close it out tonight and also play better at home. They've been a better road team in the playoffs thus far. And Anthony Mason makes the free throws, and the score 85-79 Chicago.
Because you know that you're a big three-point shooting team, even though you haven't shown it in this series. 6 is only 2 possessions for Charlotte. And that's a big thing you've got to keep reminding yourself as we play this last 5.5 minutes.
Mason on Jordan. Jordan with a fall away again, and an air ball, a rare air ball by Michael Jordan. He's got 28. Rice with 30. They are the scoring kings in this battle of shootout stars tonight. And Rice can't hold on to the pass and turns it over to Chicago.
Well, he tried to look up the floor. He tried to catch that kick with one hand, and then he took a look at the defender, Jordan, as he was running at him. Lost his concentration.
12 on the shot clock. Rodman setting the screen for Kerr. Wesley stays with him, but Steve Kerr, who had 10 points in the second quarter, now has 15, and the Bulls lead it 87-79.
Now that's the triangle at its best. That's the guard around, and if you slide underneath and you're coming a good shooter like Kerr, he just stopped on the dime and shot it in your face. 2 big field goals by Steve Kerr here.
Kerr defending against Wesley. The Bulls leading by 8. Rice guarded by Rodman with 7 on the shot clock with under 5 to go. And Jordan very nearly made the steal. Fills. Doesn't get it off. No basket. The shot clock expires. And once again, the Bulls, 2 defensive times down the floor, have had the measure.
Nick, they did not concede to 2 open shots. Out of that pass by Rice, they were open. The Bulls rotated. They made the extra pass. The Bulls rotated, and they bluffed them out of taking 2 shots.
Hornets turning it over 4 times here in the fourth quarter. And the Bulls looking for a double-digit lead. Neither team has been able to get that far tonight. Under 4.5 to play. 5 on the shot clock. Jordan against Rice. The fall away by Michael.
Give it up.
Divac with the outlet pass to Glen Rice. The lead is 8. Rice forces it up in a hurry. Not a force, but he rushed it.
Well, you were right the first time, Dick. That was a force. They had a 3-on-2, and all he had to do was give that ball up into the lane. They had a 2-on-1 in the lane with Wesley and a guy running that outside lane.
4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And Wennington out of the triangle. Now Pippen with 3 on the shot clock. Scottie Pippen. And Wennington gets a critical offensive rebound. And Wennington has it rejected by Divac, but the Bulls get a new clock. And that's the last thing the Hornets needed at this stage.
Yeah, they're all about offensive rebounding, keeping the ball alive. And when they break down this game, they're going to look at the second chance points, and it's going to blow their minds. And plus, this guy right here, Steve Kerr, has been fantastic off the bench tonight for the Bulls.
Meanwhile, the shot clock reaches midnight on the Chicago Bulls, and Dave Cowens wants a timeout. 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining. Maybe in Dave Cowens and the Charlotte Hornets season, with the Bulls up by 8. The Bulls leading 87-79, trying to close out the Charlotte Hornets in Game 5 here at the United Center and get ready for a Game 1 Sunday against the Indiana Pacers. Charlotte and Chicago each with 3 full timeouts left. The Hornets also have a 20. Hornets have yet to commit a team foul here in the fourth quarter, so they have 4 fouls to give to only 1 for the Chicago Bulls. Anthony Mason with 16. Glen Rice with 30, and Wesley, who hasn't scored, also with 16, the top scorers for the Hornets. Michael Jordan with 28. Scottie Pippen with 16, and Steve Kerr with 15 points. And there's the story, the second chance points tonight, 16-4 for the Bulls. B.J. Armstrong guarded by Randy Brown. Here's Divac against Longley and cannot make the layup. And the Bulls get a big rebound as we get down to 3 minutes remaining in the fourth.
Now that was a beautiful design play. They ran a screen, a flash post, right to Divac. He gets a wide open shot like that. And unfortunately for them, they've missed at least 5 of those type of shots in this game tonight.
Because the Bulls haven't gotten a field goal in the last 4.5 minutes. And Dennis Rodman misses a tip, and Divac has it. So it's been there for the Hornets to come back.
You've got to go here because you got a free man.
Glen Rice against Scottie Pippen. What a great duel that's been. Pippen knocks the ball away, and Michael Jordan tries to save it and does. What a heroic defensive effort by Michael Jordan on his back in front of his own bench.
Now he made that happen. All effort, throwing it back, they get the break. Watch Michael here now as he throws the ball back right there.
Showing his greatness in countless ways, Michael Jordan. And with less than 2.5 minutes remaining in the fourth, it is still an 8-point game.
They're very good, Dick, at milking the clock. Once you get inside of 3 minutes, the Bulls take their time. They stay within their offense. Big thing here, you must hold them to one shot.
Here is Longley, blocked by Divac. Big defensive play, but the Hornets have to get some points if they want to challenge the Bulls and stay alive in this series. 2 minutes remaining. Here is Mason now working against Longley, against the double team. B.J. Armstrong hits a big three, and the former Chicago Bull has cut the lead now to 5.
Now, they just made Michael Jordan pay. Michael Jordan left B.J., came all the way across the double team, and a terrific spot pass by Mason.
A 5-point lead, and the ball knocked away, but Longley has it. Scottie Pippen driving in, misses, out of bounds, and it'll be Hornets ball with 1:36 on the clock and a 2-possession game right now.
Now, this is just a great defensive play by Divac. He played Longley well because he kept him behind the board.
Each team has 1 foul to give with a minute and a half to go. Armstrong gets it in low to Mason. Now Rodman and Mason.
Keep an eye on Longley up high to see if he comes for the double.
Mason fall away, in and out. And now Randy Brown slowing things up. The lead is 5 for the Bulls. And a minute and 13 to go. Chicago on its way to moving into the conference finals. Brown finds Longley. Every possession critical now. Michael Jordan hits it. Big 30 points for Jordan, and the lead is 7. Timeout, Charlotte.
Now right there, Randy Brown just popped Divac. Divac is all upset as he's yelling at the referee. Unfortunately, while this is going on, Michael Jordan is setting up for a jump.
Here's the lineup next week on TNT as the NBA playoffs resume into the conference finals. Monday night, Game 2 of the Lakers and the Jazz. Tuesday night, the Pacers and Bulls in Game 2 if Chicago goes on and wins. And Friday night at 9:30, the Jazz and the Lakers in Game 3 from the Great Western Forum.
Main thing right now is you need a score. You're going to take anything that you get on a good look.
Charlotte has won for their last 7 from the field, and Glen Rice threw up a wild shot. And the Bulls in control here with 44 seconds to go as they have had to do countless times down the stretch. This is a team that knows how to win.
It's always a big thing. You try to tell people, you go for the 2 quick because it reduces the score. You say, well, why do you do that? Well, anytime that you take a 3 and you miss a 3, you just saw what happened. People foul right away. Okay, now they have the ball back. They can run more time. Or if it was a penalty situation, they'd be shooting the penalty and they'd be increasing their lead.
Hornets have no more fouls to give, and Mason fouls Jordan. And will send him to the line as Michael using up the clock as the Hornets look at the sand running out of the hourglass for their season. 51-win campaign, beating the Atlanta Hawks 3 games to 1 after losing the season series in 4 straight, but they came a cropper against the Chicago Bulls tonight. And Michael Jordan, probably with more fire in his eyes than at any time in the playoffs at both ends of the floor, with his 31st point and the first time tonight from the free throw line.
No doubt about it, Dick. The confrontation definitely woke him up and got him going. And since then, he's been playing very spirited basketball.
He has 10 of his 18 points, or 10 of the Bulls points here in the final quarter. Michael Jordan with a steal.
Here.
David Wesley fouls him, and Michael nearly scored with the left hand. No basket by Pippen. And the crowd on its feet, and they got what they wanted. The Chicago Bulls will finish off the Hornets in 5, as all the other teams have going into the conference final.
Now, this is just a good help by Dennis Rodman because it forced Wesley right back into, B.J. Armstrong right back into Jordan for the steal.
Michael Jordan finishing in a flurry. shot. Jordan with 12 of the Bulls' 20 points here in the fourth quarter, leading by 10, the first double-digit lead of the game, as Divac goes to the hoop and a foul with 17.2.
Well, it's just been all Bulls in this last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. They've done a magnificent job in taking care of opportunities, defending Charlotte at the other end of the floor, and forcing him into low percentage shots.
Divac's on the free throw line. Coming up next inside the NBA, join Vince Cellini and Damon Stoudemire as they wrap up all of tonight's action, plus post-game interviews from both the United Center here in Chicago and Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. Michael Jordan gets a standing ovation. He scored 33 points tonight on 15 of 29 shooting and made some tremendous hustle plays all over the floor.
Yeah, they're good at playing keep away, and they'll just run it down.
Wesley fouling Longley from behind, and once again, as you pointed out, a year ago, the Bulls swept the first round in 3 as they did this year. Atlanta won the second game against them a year ago, and then the Bulls knocked them out in 5. And same thing happening this season. The Hornets winning game 2 here at the United Center, and then the Chicago Bulls said enough is enough.
Well, last year everyone said they played them real tough in the first round. It was 3-0, 4-1, 4-1 before they went to the final. This year they're saying the same thing. It's 3-0, 4-1 as they march to the next round.
And the next round against Indiana, Hubie.
Yes, right about during the year, 2-2. But during the year, both, Chicago had a lot of injuries. Indiana's playing at the top of their game right now, and it should be a fantastic a series, mainly because of the personalities involved.
Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, Rick Smits, Luke Longley. And keep in mind that the Pacers did win one game at the United Center against the Bulls. But this one is history, and the Bulls did what they set out to do. Knock out the Charlotte Hornets and not having go back to Charlotte. And the final score as the Bulls defeat the Charlotte Hornets 93-84. As the Bulls knock out the Hornets in 5 and will now face the Indiana Pacers, who earlier tonight eliminated the New York Knicks also in 5. Let's go out to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Dick. A very tight game, a shootout between you and Glen Rice until late in the game. Fourth quarter, standing right here, you and Glen got into it. What happened, and how did that maybe inspire you down the stretch?
Well, it's two competitors trying to win the ball game, and he was setting some good screens. I thought he was moving a little bit. I started trying to get the call by running into the screen, and I ran into the screen a little bit too hard, and it offended him a little bit, and we said a couple of words, but I mean that shows the two competitors between the two of us.
A lot was made of Glen Rice offensively and then Anthony Mason defensively on you. Who gives you the hardest time playing defense, and does it irritate you or challenge you?
Oh, it's a challenge. I never faced a team, faced one-on-one defense. I mean, certain teams play me with great awareness. When I get into the post, they certainly jump up there and, double team me and keep me out of the post. Mason, for a big guy, I'm pretty sure he's the strongest, and certainly he moves his feet very well. And, I had to use my quickness a little bit a couple of times, but for the most part, he played me very solid.
Obviously important for you to keep pace with Indiana since they beat New York tonight. What about that series? What do you think about the Pacers? I know you beat them down there towards the end, but they came back and beat you here the last meeting.
Well, they got a lot of confidence right now. Everybody's starting to get healthy for that team, and they present a lot of problems for us. And I think we have to play a lot better than what we played up to this point. I'm anticipating a great battle between the two teams. I mean, both teams are one on each other's floor, so I mean, there's no advantage there. I think whoever plays a solid basketball game for 48 minutes is going to win the game, and certainly we have to defend what we have to defend.
Are you going to get rest for your cold tonight, or are you going to Dennis Rodman's birthday party?
No, I'm going home.
All right, thanks a lot. I think so is Hubie. Let's go back to Dick.
Fat chance. Fat chance. Michael Jordan with 33 leads, 4 double-figure scores. Kerr had 15 off the bench. Glen Rice with 33 in doubles for the Hornets. We'll be back with a final word from the United Center in just a moment.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the new Dodge. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change. The new Dodge. And by Fila, a new attitude, new performance. Change the game.
Chicago Bulls eliminate the Charlotte Hornets in 5, 93-84 tonight. Hubie, when all is said and done, how do you sum this one up?
Well, you look at it this way, Dick. They came in averaging only 79 points. Charlotte only got 84 tonight. And then, once again, we said Michael Jordan gets his 30. Dennis Rodman, 21 rebounds, 9 offensive. And then, off the bench, Stevie Kerr, big 15.
But the second chance points, and that's been a big strength for the Bulls, and hopefully against the Indiana Pacers, looking at it from their standpoint. But Indiana is going to make a very difficult assignment, I think, coming into the next series.
I agree with you 100%. They have a high-powered offense. They have 3 key guys that you can go to who can score big. They have an inside game. They get to the foul line, and Mark Jackson is playing terrific basketball in the playoffs.
Coming up next, inside the NBA. So for Hubie Brown and Craig Sager, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from the United Center. And the Bulls move on. And right now, let's send you to our Atlanta studios and Vince Cellini. Take it away, Vince.
Thanks, Dick Stockton. Yes, the finals word in each conference is now upon us. We'll take a look at the Final Four. Damon Stoudemire joins me for Inside the NBA. We'll set you up on what's next for the Lakers and Jazz and the Pacers and the Bulls. A look ahead to the weekend when we come back. Next on Inside the NBA, the New York Knicks go to market and get a big serving of the marksmen, Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller. New York denied, and the Coach of the Year still in line for a title. From Chicago, a volatile situation for the Bulls and Hornets. Michael let his game do the talking until Glen Rice went nose to nose with his airness. It was almost mayhem at United Center. And we welcome you to Inside the NBA, and we meet you at the middle now. The bracket wall is complete to the moment. 1 and 3 seeds, East and West, are going to meet in the conference finals. And it's going to look like this. It starts Saturday on NBC with the Lakers and Jazz in Game 1, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Sunday on NBC, the Eastern Conference Final Game 1, Pacers and the Bulls. We are back on TNT Monday night. We'll have the Lakers and Jazz Game 2 with a pregame show at 8. The game tips off at 8:30. Pacers and Bulls Game 2 on Tuesday, same setup. And then back on Friday, Jazz and Lakers Game 3 as they shift to the Forum. And we welcome you to Inside the NBA. Vince Cellini, and there's a mouse in the house, Mighty Mouse, Damon Stoudemire, the Portland Trailblazers, with us tonight. How you doing?
All right, Vince.
We're watching this game tonight. You know, Charlotte's within 3 after 3 quarters, and then Glen Rice. It's tough to get up in a guy's face when he has a statue outside the arena, and it seemed to really inspire Chicago and their fans.
Yeah, it did. I think Chicago really picked it up as a team after that incident, and I think Charlotte wasn't able to sustain what they had been doing up to that point. And, I mean, I think if you look at it, it's championship basketball. Chicago's been there. Charlotte hasn't.
You know, before we get to the highlights tonight, I'm so impressed with the Nike spot you do for the Fun Police that I took it upon myself to give it a little twist, and it's kind of reporter involvement here, and I'm just wondering what you thought about that. You know, kind of the laundry scene.
I think we might have to give Jason his job back.
Yeah, I think so, too. I didn't quite have the same wardrobe budget you had, but, you know, I look more like Lou the crossing guard. Thanks, Damon, for backing me on that. Let's get to the highlights. So the New York Knicks, well, they were trying to do something they'd never done before in 8 tries, and that is come back from a 3-1 playoff deficit. Their opponent, the Indiana Pacers, had other ideas. A win at Market Square, and the Hicks would dispose of the Knicks in all their big city ways. To America's heartland we go. Larry Bird gets the Coach of the Year award. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. And that was King of the Hill imitation, not Larry Bird. Mark Jackson, rebound outlet to Reggie Miller, and the basket, early 2-point Pacer lead. But the Knicks come back behind the hot hand of Allen Houston. Behind the back, a little step back, and hits the jumper. Pacers are up by 7. Allen Houston over McKee.
Yeah, I mean, Allen Houston, he played well. You know, I think he should have took more shots, but he did what he had to do.
15 of the first quarter. Little mini oop there, though. Mark Jackson, Dale Davis. Then Patrick Ewing really had his problems. Missing there, own rebound, misses again. 2 points in the first half, 10 in the game on 4 of 13 shooting. Mrs. Miller liked that. Mark Jackson, Rick Smits, fakes Ewing, hits the jumper. 61-52 Pacers. Here's Mark now getting all confident on us. To Antonio Davis. And then he's going to get it back. And it's that little shot put floater that he has. And when he has that going, very, very dangerous. Now in the third, check the defense. Reggie Miller, well, he's beaten there, but still gets a piece of the basketball. And John Stark's shot is blocked to end the third. Childs, Houston. Reverse jam, 70-68. Pacers up by just a deuce. Johnny Starks, he can be dangerous, he can be deadly. The little hop step there, keeping control of the basketball. Had 12 in the game. Spike Lee making the trip. Pacers still up by 1. Allen Houston now. Antonio Davis, I don't think so. 3 blocks in the game for AD. Rick Smits, gonna put a nail in it. The jumper, 87-75. Bird shaking hands with Slick Leonard, former Pacer coach and 3-time ABA champion. Knicks win, or lose rather, by 11 points. The Pacers held the Knicks without a basket for the final 6 minutes, or a 6-minute stretch of the final quarter. Indiana's off to the conference finals for the first time since '95 and facing Chicago. Mark Jackson, first ever playoff triple-double for the Pacers. 22 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists. Oh, those Pacers, here they go.
Mark Jackson plays like he did tonight. I mean, it was just truly amazing to watch to me. I mean, I've been around this league a long time, and watch a point guard do what he did tonight is spectacular.
Played the game of his life, a game for the ages. So much was said about his showboating in the Garden and to come back and play so well on Sunday, and then to follow it up with this game. He takes it personal every time he plays against the Knicks.
This is not what we wanted to do. This is not our ultimate goal, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So there's no reason to jump and rant and rave and high five and hug, because the ultimate goal is to win the whole thing.
Well, Mark Jackson was the man of the hour, and take a look at this. In the series against the Knicks, the first 4 games, 29 points total. In this one, 22. The free throws, perfect in 10 tries, and 14 rebounds. That was 3 more than New York's leading rebounder in the game, Patrick Ewing. Once again, fine guard play. We have a fine guard. Why don't we talk about some of what stood out to you in this particular ballgame?
Well, first of all, Mark Jackson stood out with his outstanding play. And as a point guard, I've kind of been in that zone and had that feeling before. So, I mean, Mark just did a great job tonight. Reggie played great again as usual. But Allen Houston, I think Allen, he played well, but at times I thought that he should have asserted himself a little more. Early on, you see him hitting the jumper. He comes back again. In this play right here, gets a pass from Chris Childs, reverse dunks, but that was his only bucket in that third quarter. Right here he has Reggie, he goes to the hole, Antonio Davis blocks his shot. But my point is that I think that Allen Houston definitely should have took more shots and been more assertive, and they should have found a way to give him the ball.
Well, it was an amazing discrepancy at the free throw line. Indiana outscored New York 29-9 at the line, and what jumped out to you was the fact that some of those guys didn't even go to the line at all for New York.
Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, right. Allen Houston, John Starks, between them, they only took 2 free throws, and that's not good enough this time of year.
That's not going to cut it. And it's the first time now that Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan have ever met in postseason coming up. So they tell us. So we'll break out inside the NBA. And then, I'll tell you, it's a jungle out there, George. Seattle's tortured soul of a coach in limbo after the Lakers bounce out his team. What's next? Well, we do know what's next for the Lakers. The party train pulling into Utah. We'll talk about that as well in a moment.
Inside the NBA on TNT is brought to you by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Welcome back. Last night, the end of the Sonics in the playoffs probably meant the end of George Karl as Sonics coach. In 7 seasons at the helm, Karl's teams won 72% of the regular season games, but went 40-40 in postseason, which didn't sit well with owner Barry "Where's My Rings" Ackerley. Cheryl Miller says Karl appears to have lost the Seattle battle.
Tuesday was George Karl's 47th birthday, and his Sonics were down 3-1. But heading to Game 5, once again, he was answering questions about his future.
If you lose tonight, where do you stand with your coaching? Here. What's your future like here?
I don't think we need to go there. I think it's too hard for me. Sorry. Any more? I'll sober up here in a minute.
But there would be no birthday win as the Lakers shot a blistering 74% from the floor and 80% from the three-point line. In the first half, the Lakers close out the series 4-1, handing George Karl his first four-game losing streak as the Sonics head coach. And after the game, the questions about his future continued.
Wow, I'm scared of the phone ringing. There's no question I'll be turning my portables off.
There's always been speculation. 3 years ago, we lost the Lakers in the first round. There was a lot of speculation, in fact, suggestions that George should not be back as coach. Obviously, we decided to keep him, and that was the right decision then. And the difference now is that he has a choice. He's a free agent, as you pointed out, July 1st, and so we'll just have to sit down and sort that out.
It's impossible to tell you to not in the pain of not doing better. But I think my knowledge of the game of basketball says we fought, and we fought hard. I'm tired of persevering. I'd just like one damn time to win the last game of my season where I don't have to persevere through the summer.
Again, some of the numbers from George Karl's era in Seattle, and you see the most consecutive seasons with at least 55 wins. George Karl's right up there, his 6th, but when you look in the titles category, no titles there. And that may ultimately have been his undoing. But Damon, Seattle took a calculated risk going into the season when they made the big trade, Vin Baker and Sean Kemp. What's your assessment of that?
Well, I think in trading Sean Kemp, they lost all their athletic ability, their enthusiasm. And when you gain a guy like Vin Baker, you get a more polished player. But what Sean Kemp brought to the table is irreplaceable. And I think you've seen that in the playoffs. To me, the Sonics look like a tired team, a team that was up in age, and you know, they needed more youth, I thought. And I thought that was the difference in the series.
Wow, and they'll be a team that probably undergo a lot of changes, coaching and personnel-wise, player-wise as well. Well, while George Karl laments his loss, Utah coach Jerry Sloan is back in familiar digs, the Western Conference Finals for a 4th time in 5 seasons. The Jazz taking the Spurs in 5 games and bracing for the league's Godzilla, that monster of a team from L.A.
I think last year, They really do want a piece of us. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a lot of fouls, probably a lot of trash talking on their behalf because we're not too much of a trash talking team.
You know, I think defense is definitely going to win it. So the team that play their best defense as a group, I think is going to win. Like I said, it's just one of those things that when you get to the playoff, defense win series, yeah, you got to score points. But defense is going to win, and we realize that.
Well, the Wagner look ahead now is the regular season series between the Jazz and the Lakers, and it was 3-1 L.A., but look, Stockton missed the first 2 games. Jazz lost both of those games. One of the Laker victories, too, was toward the end of the season when all was said and done in the Western Conference standings, and you see Shaq and Malone's numbers. As for the mailman matchup, Laker coach Del Harris says Karl Malone is dangerous in more ways than one.
I'm more concerned about the potential injury factor to Malone's kicking techniques now that when he shoots the ball where he tries to kick people. To me, I think that anybody that's done a little bit of martial arts, which I have, so don't fool with me.
Del, Uncle Del. Yeah. Karl Malone is dangerous, and now with that kick, so who do the Lakers send to try to guard him and maybe be kicked?
Well, I think the Lakers should guard Karl Malone with a taller defender, Robert Horry, Eldon Campbell, and maybe at times even Shaq. I think that gives Karl a little bit more problems than probably somebody his size because he's able to bully them down low. And
you're saying, see, everybody, see, we played the Lakers pretty tough in our series, too, as compared to what happened against the Sonics, right?
Well, yeah, we took a lot of heat up in Portland for our series against the Lakers, but, I mean, we played the Lakers, you know, just as well or maybe even better than Seattle did. But, I mean, they have a great ball club, and they're peaking right now.
No question about it. When Inside continues, we'll take a trip to that toddling town and what was a wild ball game at United Center. Chicago in line to oust the Hornets. Guess who stepped up big? Starting July 19th in New York, the world's best out to prove it. Fourth Goodwill Games. You can see the drama on the Superstation, TBS. The AutoZone news of the day is Coach Jim Clemens again working in Chicago for the ABL. Clemens becoming the second NBA coach to join the Women's League. He'll serve as the head coach of the Chicago franchise, which joined the league early last month. Well, back to the floor. The Charlotte Hornets basically had nothing to lose except a series as they hit Chicago. If the Bulls won, it was going to be Indiana on the conference call. What a wild, wild Game 5 we had here. Glen Rice driving layup, 2 of his 10 first quarter points. So Rice trying to get it going early. He was a factor. Hornets lead was just 3 because Michael had 14 in the first quarter. What about one of the X factors, Damon? Steve Kerr.
Yeah, my Arizona alumnus. You know, he hit a big 3 right there. Steve played well all evening.
10 in the second quarter. Glen Rice, he wasn't finished. He's heating up, and he is just hitting from all over the place. 28 points after 3. Glen Rice. This is where they needed him all series long, not just in this game. The bench is loving it. But Michael matched Rice. Here's Michael knocking down the jumper. 22 after 3 quarters. Bulls were up by 3 at the end of 3. This is a tight ball game. Now Rice and Jordan, watch this. Tries to set the pick, lowers the shoulder on the rib cage. Resulted in a double technical. Michael didn't like that at all. And rare video. How often do you see this?
Probably never.
Nose to nose. Springer was in the audience. Jerry. Then Michael Jordan hits the off-balance jumper. Bulls up by 4. Scramble for the basketball. Rodman and Del Curry. It appears to go off Chicago. Del Curry's upset. He gets tossed. Then Anthony Mason in the low block. Desperation. The shot rejected by Jordan. They challenged him at home. I told you Springer was there. Bulls up by 5. Just over a minute left. Jordan again. The United Center crowd begins to chant MVP, MVP. Michael Jordan. Glen Rice got right up into his face in Michael's house, and Michael responded, as did the Bulls. 93-84. The series is over. Jordan with 33, Pippen 16, Kerr a big 15. Chicago in the Eastern Conference Final for the 8th time now in 10 years. Indiana awaits.
We had a tight game and a real shootout between you and Michael Jordan, and then the two of you got into it. What happened, and how did that change the outcome of the game, do you think?
Well, I think one of the things, we were just trying to be competitive out there, and I think the referee let Mike get away with a couple of things, and I didn't approve of it. So, I tried to express my, attitude. I just tried to go out there and play as hard as he was playing.
Obviously, it was a good season for you guys. You got past Atlanta in the first round. A lot of people didn't think you would. But the disappointment of losing to the Bulls, when you beat them here once.
It was kind of disappointing. I don't think we came out in this series at times and played our best basketball. I think if we played our best basketball, we could have won more games. And, we got to take our hats off to the Bulls. They came out, played like a championship team each game, and we don't feel bad.
What about the Indiana Pacers? They finished off the Knicks in the same 5-game series like you did. What about them?
Great team. They're, I think, we were destined to play each other all year long. They've been the best team in the East along with us, and it's going to be a great series.
Take a look at the numbers for the birthday boy, Dennis Rodman, who turned 37 years old, and compare what he did in 1997 to this season. The minutes per game way up, rebounds per game almost doubled there, and points per game much better. 21 rebounds in the clincher against Charlotte, all that, and Carmen Electra too, Damon. But you look at this Chicago team, they know how to get the job done. Great closers and really a lot of energy for the Bulls tonight.
Definitely a lot of energy. I think that's the one thing that always has stood out with me when I talk about the Bulls or when I watch the Bulls. You look at Dennis Rodman right there. He pushes Glen Rice out of position, gets the board. That's a hustle play. Then again, you look at Scottie Pippen shooting the ball, missing the shot. Ron Harper beating David Wesley to the spot, getting the tip in. These are a bunch of older guys, and they're not supposed to have as much energy, but yet they come out, they get all these second chance buckets. And they're just a tough team to stop when they're playing like that.
What do you consider old, Damon? Careful now. All right, back to the game. We saw Glen Rice get right up in Michael's mug. When you challenge a guy like Michael Jordan, are you going to pay the price? And rarely it happens to that extent.
Well, yeah, I think that you're going to pay the price. I can recall the time in Toronto, actually, when we played them, and one of my teammates got in his face, and, he commits to score like 10, 12 points in a row. And, I mean, he's just a tough player to deal with, but when you get in his face like that and irritate him, you know, he becomes even tougher to deal with.
Yeah, I guess. He became very hostile there in Chicago. Now, earlier, Indiana on the mark against the Knicks. Mark Jackson with the first playoff triple-double in Pacer history. Indiana eliminated New York with an 11-point win in their Game 5.
We're a basketball team that from day one had a goal to win this whole thing. Anything short of that, we will not be satisfied.
The bottom line is they didn't beat themselves. And I think sometimes we did. And in the playoffs, if you want to play at a championship level, like they're capable, you can't beat yourself. And I think that is what they, you know, that's not what they're doing, and that's why they're advancing.
You know, things are not going to get any easier, certainly not, you know, and then you know, we need to take it one round at a time. As I said earlier, our goal is to become champion.
You know, it's very disappointing not even to make the playoffs last year, and, you know, to come full circle and to be back in the conference finals. You know, this is special personally for myself and for the city of Indianapolis. We don't get a lot of credit, we don't get a lot of media, but we're on center stage now.
No question about that. When we come back, we'll look at that Eastern Conference Final and Western Conference Final, climbing the bracket wall in a moment.